But then Swami stopped and he said, "Oh, my driver." And he asked me to open the tiffin carrier. He held out a plate. He said, "Put this and put that and put the other." He says, "I'm going to give it to my driver." And in my heart, I was like, oh my God, I get to be the servant of God. I get to be the servant of God. What a great, fantastic privilege that was. And there was just her sister and I and India in the interview room. And she was leaving and Swami gave her a big slap. And we went, then he says, no, he says, now next she is in America remembering. And that is also a meditation. So for me, the scoldings, the praises, all of those things, he says, be equal in praise and blame. His teachings are unbelievable.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Sister Michele Kaplowitz, who is joining us from Medford, Oregon. Sairam, Sister Michele, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam, thank you for inviting me. It brings me great joy to remember all the interactions with Swami that I have had since I'm a devotee since 1969.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Please share your story.
Well, I mean, one of the first stories that I had was 1969, and my friend had told me about Sai Baba, and they played a record album of him talking, and he was really the Bhagavad Gita, from age to age incarnates. And I'm only 25 years old, and I don't know anything about the Bhagavad Gita. But as soon as I heard Swami's voice saying God comes from age to age for the protection of the good, tears came to my eyes, and I just started crying. And I had many dreams. The first dream I had was Shirdi Sai Baba. And in that one, he covered me with vibhuti. And, I didn't really know what significant that was. But years later, in Prashanti Nilayam at Dasara in 1971, we were asked to clean things in the mandir. And Swami was up on the balcony where his bedroom was really right above the altar in the mandir. So he could take aside the curtain and look down. And from that balcony, he threw me the crown that goes on Shirdi Sai Baba's head. And he said, here, polish the old man's head. So I was very thrilled. And he also sent down a tiger skin and asked me to put it underneath his chair. And one of the great things for me was being the servant. In Anantapur, at one time, we had all gone to Anantapur, and Swami was there, and Indra Devi, and a whole bunch, and he had a beautiful tiffin carrier, and he gave us all something to eat. And then it was packed up. But then Swami stopped and he said, "Oh, my driver." And he asked me to open the tiffin carrier. He held out a plate. He said, "Put this and put that and put the other." He says, "I'm going to give it to my driver." And in my heart, I was like, oh my God, I get to be the servant of God. I get to be the servant of God. What a great, fantastic privilege that was. I mean, I'm a bhakti. For me, everything is love, Swami's grace, Swami's beauty, also Swami's scoldings, because I've been scolded many times by Swami, and I've been praised many times by Swami. And in one interview, when we were in the interview with Swami, he says, sometimes Swamiji is talking. He said, that time everybody is happy. He says, sometimes I don't talk, I don't look. He said, that time is a better time, sir. That time you are looking deep, what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. That is a better time. Swami always was a teacher. Everything was teaching. The people you meet on the street are your teachers. The ones that you have the hardest time with, your siblings, your children, whoever it is, they are your best teachers, because you have to come to terms with things. So, I mean, one time I was walking across the field in Vrindavan. And Vrindavan, he was more playful. He was more like Krishna. And this is like 1972. I'm very young. I'm not married. And I got a bunch, and I'm just completely, totally in love, in not a physical sense, but in a blissful sense, in the sense of everything is Swami. God is everywhere and in everything, which he often says. I am in you, around you, above you, below you, and in you. So I was holding some grapes in my hand, going back to my little hut in Katagubi village, and a young boy comes, and he snatches some grapes out of my hand. And at first, this anger blows up. And then I thought, if I gave Swami those grapes, I would be very happy. And if I see Swami in that person, then I should be very happy. And then I also thought, though, it may be my responsibility to tell this Sai Baba in the form of this young boy that it's not the right thing to do. It's always some balance in everything. See God in everything, because he is everywhere and in everything. He says, you walk past someone's house and maybe you don't like that person, but in that house you see a picture of Swami and you love the picture of Swami. So he'll say, you don't have to hang out with everybody, you don't have to like everybody, but you do have to see God in everybody. And there is that. These teachings are so beautiful and so subtle. So another story I like a lot, which was a very hard lesson for me, was the Elsie Cowan and Hislop and Rajagopals had all come. And when they came, they were always VIPs. And I almost always knew where Swami was and what he was doing. It was like an uncanny gift. But nobody told me anything. And I came to Darshan very happy the next day. And Swami comes up to me and says, where were you last night? At the river. I was looking for you. And he had taken all those people to the river and manifested a Krishna out of the sand and all kinds of things. And so I'm sitting on Darshan. I was perfectly happy. And then I said, and in my mind, because I never have the courage to say that to someone, well, if you wanted me, why didn't you invite me? And so for days I went on with that, if you wanted me. And that also is a meditation. When he slapped my friend when she was going back to America, her name was India Supra, and she was going back to America, and there was just her sister and I and India in the interview room. And she was leaving, and Swami gave her a big slap, and we went. Then he says, no, he says, now next she's in America remembering. And that is also a meditation. So for me, the scoldings, the praises, all of those things, he says, be equal in praise and blame. His teachings are unbelievable. Be equal in praise and blame. What does that mean to you? I mean, it's very powerful. Everything and nothing is the same place. Contemplate on that. And Ramana Maharshi was a great saint who lived in India. And that was his main thing, was who am I, who am I, who am I? And the story goes, even though I did not hear it from anybody but a stranger, somebody, that Swami had said that when after he died, there was a light came into Swami's room upstairs, and Swami said, here comes Ramana Maharshi. Oh, he's really my friend from Mexico, Gail Muniz. She came out of the interview room, and for 15 minutes, she couldn't stop saying, Michele, he's really a God. He's really a God. He's really, really a God. I was like, yes, yeah. She was so overcome and in so much bliss that she couldn't stop. And everybody who maybe hasn't had the opportunity to see him, they do have the opportunity to see him in their mind's eye. And they do have the opportunity, because he is omnipresent. He is not gone from us. He is always with you. So, but you have to make that step towards him. I am knocking on the door of your heart. Please let me in. Swami, where are you? I want to feel you. I want to see you. You have to plead and cry. That's my way. I'm a pleader and a crier. I used to, when Swami didn't talk to me for quite a while sometimes, and behind the mandir at that time, which was still all sand, there was a little tiny stupa with a figure who was a mother figure, I think. I don't know what it was, but I got to liking that figure. So when he didn't speak to me for maybe 5, 6 days, I would be in tears. I would go over to the statue and I said, why are you not talking to me anymore, Swami? I need you. You have to call me. You have to talk to me. So when he didn't speak to me for maybe 5, 6 days, I would be in tears. I would go over to the statue and I said, why are you not talking to me anymore, Swami? I need you. You have to call me. You have to talk to me. And almost immediately he would. So, I mean, sometimes you have to make a big effort and make a big cry. And sometimes when he doesn't, you have to say, he is everywhere and in everything, and he will answer you. And that is a better time, sir. And the last words he said to me in an interview, he pointed his finger at my nose and said, you think whatever happens, it is good for me. It is good for me. So these are the paths we have to take. And, you know, my husband gets all the dreams. I get a few, but he gets a lot of dreams. And that's very lovely. But I like to imagine, Swami. I ask, you know, I try to remember. Remembrance is a very important thing. If you just remember any day, any time where you felt the most love for things that you've ever felt, that's Swami. So remember that, even if it was to your spouse or to your children, that this love is what God is. And this is inside of me. This is who I am. I am that I am, and all that God is, I am. And it's a path, and you have to keep walking it to see what other. Also, I was young, and of course, I had no family. I didn't marry Richard till 1977, where Swami performed the wedding. So I'm also sitting. There was a young couple came with a child. They were really neglecting that child. She was a wreck. So I thought, well, I'm going to help this little girl, take her to the house, get her washed, fix her hair up and everything like that. And I was sitting on darshan line. She was on my lap. And Swami came by and he said, why? When you've left everything, your family, your mother, your father, and you've come here, why attachment? You know, and you know, so that was a little hard to hear. That was okay. And then one time I had helped deliver a baby. You heard the group Lightstorm. Well, they came and the girls were very young. And when they came back again, she was pregnant with a baby. I was in a hut, a dung floor cement hut on a farmer's property near Katagudi village. And so I helped deliver this baby on this floor. But so I felt kind of privileged because, you know, I was like the godmother here. I helped deliver. I held her and they delivered her. And then when they came back for the baby naming, I thought, oh, I should go and sit in front because I'm a real special person. Well, Swami would have none of that. He said, give other people a chance. Donkeys are better, sir. And that was hard. And then another time, and so I went and sat in the back, and I would not sit in the front again for many years, with no courage to go sit close for many years. But all the memories, all the reminders of Swami are what's important to me. To see him shaking his fist at me and saying Chandralekha or Dunaputta, you know, Chandralekha is a crazy lady, and the Dunaputta is a water buffalo. And all of those things are very dear to me. Who would scold you except your parent who loves you? So, you know, those were very wonderful times. One time, So it was the first summer course. And we got to attend the first summer course. There were, 16, 17 foreigners at the time. And so, we listened, and there was one man gave a speech in Telugu. It was a very long speech. And Swami said, "How was it?" And I said, "Not so good, Swami." And he said, "No, how was I?" I said, "You, Swami? You're wonderful. You're wonderful, Swami." I must have said it 10 times. "Swami, you're wonderful." To have had the ability to speak to him like that, after he hurt his hip, and then he was standing giving a long lecture, and I was in an interview afterwards. I said, "Swami, did you really have to stand there all that whole time? Couldn't you sit on a chair?" Because to me, he was my friend and my mother and my parent and my God. So, you can have any relationship you want with him. You can scold him. You can say, "Why aren't you talking to me, Swami? You need to come now." Or, "I'd like to see you right now." And that's how you keep alive with him. He is here. Don't forget he's here. He is now. He is everywhere. When you're walking down the street and maybe you're in New York City and somebody pushes you a little bit, he could be that person. He is that person. And whatever happens, it is good for you. It is good for you. I'm old now. I'm almost 81 years old tomorrow. And I have body pain. I have to think, Swami, it is good for me. It is good for me. And it's okay. It's all okay. I miss him one time, and he married us, and he's named my children. But then we were living in Los Angeles, and I was thinking, I miss him so much. I miss you so much. And then we went to visit, and I said, "Swami, I miss you so much." And he said, "Why? Aren't I always talking to you from that picture?" So contemplate in the things that happen to you. Is that Swami is talking to you in some way, even if it's scolding. Just love him. Just love, I'm knocking on the door of your heart. Swami also said, "Room in my heart," because I asked Swami for rooms in Prashanti. He said, "Room's not important." He says, "Room in my heart is important." And sometimes I used to imagine a little throne in my heart with Swami sitting on it. Swami sitting in my heart. And I like that. That's you can make up anything you want in order to reach him. Sometimes there was one lady, when she took Padnamaskar, she would lie down flat on the ground and put her hands around his ankles. So sometimes I just imagine that. Swami holding on to Swami's ankles, lying down flat on the ground. Another story I like is Baba was in Madras, and the town Mahabalipuram is in Madras. And we had gone, and Swami was very nice to us. She told us Kasturi was our mother. But my friend Heidi and I, we went to Mahabalipuram, and there was an old temple on the beach. And I remember the story of the pearls came out of the ocean and surrounded Swami's feet. And so sometimes I contemplate not being the pearl, but being the sand under his foot. I think of Swami, just make me the sand under your feet. So, all of those kinds of things is how I pray to him, how I think about him. Make me if I'm doing yoga, I hold on to the ground and make me one with the ground. Everything and nothing is the same place. I like that. Everything and nothing is the same place.
Sairam, Sister Michele, this was so beautiful. In fact, you have so many stories in the physical presence of Swami, so many lessons, so many scoldings that you hold on to so dearly. But that has transitioned or imprinted in your heart even till now, that it's more of a visualization, but to you there's no difference between the visualization of Swami and the physical Swami that you had proximity to. And it's so heartwarming for us to listen to your story, because we don't get to see Swami in the physical form. But there's no difference whether you are seeing him in his physical form or imagining and having a deep conversation, or being scolded, or having a firm conversation with Swami. You are my mother, you are my father, I need you here. All of that is real. And you explained it so well that everything and everybody around you is Swami. But it, at least for us, can we even think of it as, wait, what if this is Swami? Or this person is saying this to me, Swami is telling me something. Baby steps towards getting to this deeper understanding of everything is
Because Swami said, be equal in praise and blame. That's another one that's really a good sadhana. Be equal in praise and blame. The one you think you are, the one others think you are, the one you really are. All Swami's sayings. His teachings are profound and deep.
Yes. Be equal in praise and blame. But you also said everything and nothing is the same place.
Yeah, it's mystical. I mean, God is mystical. He's everywhere and in everything. It's pretty mystical. It's he came down in that form and it was magnificent. And he's also everywhere and in everything. And can you see it? Maybe you can see it for an instant. Maybe you can see it for, you have these epiphanies. Think of the epiphanies that you have had, where you suddenly feel, oh my God, he is God. He's really God. He's really a God. It's just so beautiful. Maybe you see it in the sunrise or the sunset or the flowers. I mean, look around at the beautiful gardens, and this is God. This is Swami. He gave all these beautiful things to us.
Sairam, Michele, thank you for being here and sharing your stories for Sai Soul 100.
My pleasure, my joy. Thank you very much.
Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Sister Michele Kaplowitz. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.